to What's Happening in Miami County. Here's your hosts, Don Smith and Bill Cartwright.
Hello, I'm Don Smith.
And I'm Bill Cartwright. Welcome to What's Happening in Miami County. And today is October 9th, 2024. And remember, we're on Channel 5 at 6 p.m. and on YouTube. And our regular schedule is the second and fourth Wednesdays of each month.
And you know what I found out?
What?
That AJ, for the most part, is putting us on every night at 6 o'clock on Channel 5.
There you
go.
go.
So anybody who doesn't hit the first one, you can watch it any night at 6 o'clock on Channel 5 if you have Channel 5 in your home. Otherwise, that's when you do
The YouTube. Yeah,
Yep,
and you
that's
can
it.
YouTube anytime.
So today's program is going to be extra special. You know?
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah. We're going to go on a tour. We have a special guest, and we're going to go down to Troy again, because we were there not too long ago.
Yep.
And we have a special friend who's going to cook for us today. So we
The cooking.
we get a treat when we
Yeah.
get there. So anyway, we'll be going to Troy later in the program. But wasn't it fun? Last show program, we went to Troy.
Yes, it was.
And we were at the Miami County Courthouse.
And it's a beautiful building. It really is. If you ever really stop and take stock of what's in there and what it looks like, it's really gorgeous, really gorgeous.
And the artwork. I mean, all
Yeah.
the different forms of artwork. And you know, one of the things that's really neat about it is that we have my neighbor directly across the street is going to actually do the fancy artwork.
Yeah.
On the faces and all the extra stuff. That's one of their
Specialty.
jobs that they have, and they're a specialty to that. And they go all over the country doing that. And I'm going to be real excited to see it when it's all finished.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
And Wade was such a nice guy.
Yes, he was.
He really was.
Couldn't
Took
find
all
us
over.
on the program though. Called me twice.
Did
But
he?
We
Oh,
got
well.
him lined up.
Okay.
So he's now will be able to watch it. So
Yeah.
that's good too.
Well,
so
it
what are
was
you
fun.
doing? Anything you can share with the audience? Or
Well, yeah. We I went to APAC with some friends of ours. You might know them, to see the Beatles tribute band, and that was at the APAC, and they were really good.
Yes, they
They
were.
really were. Some of it got a little loud, but it was really nice, and it took you through the whole time the Beatles were around, from their beginning clear up to the end part. It was a very good program, and it was very well done. And that's a nice venue anyway, to see anything really. And then again, I went to Wright State Theater with some friends, yeah, and we saw Our Town, and
you know, for those who don't know, we both enjoy theater big time.
very much.
And we try to see shows anywhere that we can. And Wright State University has a great season at a really good price. And you know what happened? My wife has said 3 times since we went that she enjoyed that show more than any she's seen in a long time.
Our Town?
Yep, she really liked
Now-
the show.
Kay had kind of the opposite.
Well, yeah, it doesn't move fast, but it had.
Yeah.
It was a little on the meaty side.
It
which I
was,
thought
yes.
similar
Yeah.
to Come From Away, which is, I hope they do that someday. Cause
Yeah,
that's a really,
but anyway, and then, and of course I worked at Bethany Center and I went and saw my doctor and my eye doctor, and I'm relatively healthy and I can see. So, hey, everything's good.
that
Everything's
is
good.
really good.
Yeah. So what you been doing?
Well, I had the same thing. You know, I'm a doctor person. I went to the doctor to have my hand fixed because I got a trigger finger, and that's not good. And I went in, and 30 minutes later, I left. And having never been in that office before, he'd given me an injection and told me my finger was going to get better as soon as it started to work on it. So I was real excited to do that, and then I went off to another doctor, had a time, but that's doctors, and when you're at this age, you're always going to doctors.
Yeah.
It's all part of it. But
It's all part of it.
we also went to Nashville, and for those of you who remember, Norley McCoy Brower lives now in Nashville. She's a really good friend of ours. She was a choreographer at Piqua High School. She was the school nurse for a lot of years, and she has now moved to Nashville because her 2 children live 15 minutes from her either side. So they live 30 minutes apart. She's in the middle.
That's nice.
And that's really nice for her. And we went down and we surprised her by taking another couple. This is an exciting part. We take people down there. I don't know them until they got in the car. That's the first time I met them. And then we go down and we check into a nursing home, basically. And it's just not what I want to be doing at this point in my life, but we had a good time, and she was really excited to be able to see them. But you know, another thing that happened, I am a political person. I like to watch the politics, and I watch both sides. I watch multiple stations because each station seems to have its own interest. And so I think you have to watch more than one station to really get the news. And so I watched the vice presidential debate, and I was really interested, and I thought there were some really good points on both sides. I felt like the debate was worthwhile and was really good and really interesting. So that was a big thing for me. And then I go to Big Lots every once in a while because Big Lots is donating a whole bunch of stuff to us at the Bethany Center.
Yep.
And they call me a couple times a month, and I go out and get boxes and boxes of stuff and take it over to the Bethany Center, and there they hand it out. So that's Big Lots needs a shout out for that because
Absolutely,
they really do
yes.
a lot on that one.
Very much appreciated.
And my wife's birthday was last week, so we had family dinner out at the Caroline in Troy. That was a nice thing. And of course, we went to see our town, and the Pickwick Caldwell Historic District had the scavenger hunt yesterday, and it started basically in front of my house, which was a really great day. So I'm sitting out there watching all the neighbors go by, handing out the sheets for the scavenger hunt. And it cost nothing, and there are prizes to be had for those who found all the items in the scavenger hunt. So that's basically what we have been doing up to now. Do you have any events?
Oh yeah, yes I do. Several, because there's a lot going on this fall. One of the main ones right now, it's going on right now, is the Bradford Pumpkin Show in Bradford. Now, I've never been. I hear it's a lot of fun, but I've never gone. As long as I've lived here, I've never gone to the Bradford Pumpkin Show.
Oh, I did. My mom used to make us take our clothes off outside.
Took your clothes off and you went naked?
Yes, into the house because it was confetti. And she wouldn't allow the confetti in the house. We had to take our clothes off in the back porch where nobody could see us. But we had to get all our stuff off and go in because she didn't want confetti in the house.
I could just hear your mom saying, okay, strip.
That's right.
Well, anyway, but that's going on right now, and it's October 8th through the 12th. And for more information, it's www.bradfordpumpkinshow.org. We'll have that at the end of the show, so if you can't remember that, which I usually can't, it'll be there. And then also coming up October 10th is Zach Williams at Hobart Arena. And for those who don't know Zach Williams, he is a Christian artist who is very good, and that will be an exciting concert. And I don't know if you can still get tickets, but if you can, it would be the Hobart Arena. And like I said, we'll have information on that at the end also. And then we have something that's very dear to Don and I's heart, and that's Friends of the Pickwick Library is presenting Christmas Around Town at the library. It's a nice fact. I can't remember who's going to be there.
Gary Anderson of Apple Tree Gallery.
Yeah.
And Mary Beth from Hallmark. And the third person that I'm sorry I can't remember.
Yeah, same
There's
here.
There's 3 different people who are going to talk about Christmas.
That and some ornaments and about Christmas. It's just going to be a really good time. And that's at the Pickwick Library at 7 p.m. You need a ticket, but all you got to do is go into the library. They're free. Go into the library and ask for a ticket, and hopefully they still have some.
And that's tomorrow night?
And that's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So, tomorrow night. That's there I go again, getting my dates mixed
Wednesday,
up.
you know.
Yeah, I know, it's Wednesday. Okay, yeah, that's tomorrow night. All right, so, and then we have one thing that I had done, we did it last week, but I want to go over it again. That's a free Friendsgiving dinner. Fields of Grace Worship Center, in conjunction with the Covington Eagles, will provide a free lunch on Saturday, November 9th, beginning at 11:30 a.m. until all meals are gone. And usually this year we're planning on at least 1,000 meals. It will be available for pickup or home delivery. Now, if you want a home delivery, you have to call Fields of Grace at 937-573-4282 to receive a home delivery. And sign up began October 1st and lasts all the way through October 31st. So it's going to be a nice meal. It's pulled pork, cheesy potatoes, green beans, applesauce, and chocolate chip cookie. And like I said, it's free. There's a limit of 5 meal limit for pickup or home delivery. But all you got to do is just give them a call, and we'll make sure that you get a meal. So, and then there is Harvest Days in downtown Piqua, and that's October 12th at 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that's old-fashioned fall fun in downtown Piqua. Harvest Days this year features big games, pumpkin bowling. I've never seen that. That might be very interesting. Corn pit for the littles, pet parade and costume contest, face painting, live music, craft fair, food trucks, and great specials and one-of-a-kind items from local retailers and restaurants. So come on down and have a good time. It should be a lot of fun. And then at the APAC, Arbogast Performing Arts Center, Tony Danza is going to be there. And he's, for most of you probably know Tony Danza. He dazzles with song, dance, wit, charm, and captivating storytelling. And that's October 12th at 7 p.m. And we will have, at the end, we'll have the website for you to go to get tickets. And then we have the second Saturday vendor show at the Piqua Center. This has been going on all summer, so but it's a fun time, and there again, it's all kinds of crafts, antiques, flea market vendors, and throughout the mall. So it's a lot of fun. So help support the Piqua Center. I think that's a good thing. Then on October 16th at the Mayflower in Troy, Ohio, the Mayflower Theater, there's going to be Brian Schweinhardt will be hitting the stage on Wednesday, October 16th at 7 p.m. at the Mayflower, and it's a comedy show. So this will be a ticketed event. It's $15 per person with general admission seating in the first floor theater. Arrival at your selected time. A ticket to the show ensures a seat, but seat placement isn't random. So, but all the seats are really good down there because they're all, there's no bad seat in the theater. So a dinner and additional drinks can be purchased throughout the show. You can join them for a comedy night. That ought to be a fun thing. That's what I got right this minute.
Okay. Well, are you ready? I got birthdays, but I've got a problem.
What's that?
I forgot the bell.
So well, that's okay.
I'll just pretend like I have a bell, and we'll.
You may not need to ring it.
Oh, probably you'll get it right away, because guess who I'm talking about? Sharon Osbourne. You know Sharon Osbourne?
Mm-hmm.
I like Sharon Osbourne. She was on America's Got Talent for a long time, and I used to watch her on there. I always felt sorry for her because she's married to Ozzy Osbourne, and I couldn't imagine anybody married to Ozzy Osbourne. Well, she took a break from him for a while, but she went back. Everything's all good. She's a reality star, X Factor, America's Got Talent. She was born in England,
right?
London, as a matter of fact. And I'm wondering how old she is.
Oh, that I couldn't tell you. I would say she's in her 60s.
Well, if I had a button, I'd push it, because she's a little older than that. Believe it or not. Yeah, she doesn't look it.
No.
I don't know what they do with makeup.
I don't either.
We need to find their makeup artist, because we could use that. Because
badly.
they always look so darn young, and we always look so old.
I would have never.
Every time I
Is she
watch
in her
this
70s?
program. Yeah, she's 72.
Oh my gosh.
72.
She does not look it.
Today's her
amazing, amazing.
Today's her birthday. Happy little lady. She was separated back there in 2016. But
Yeah.
then there's one more. And you know whose birthday this is? You'll know this one right away. John Lennon.
John Lennon.
John Lennon's birthday was on October the 6th, October the 9th. And he is obviously a Beatle, and he is co-founder of the Beatles. He got his first guitar when he was 16. How old would he be today?
Well, let's.
Oh, you're cheating. He's cheating.
When did he die? 1980.
That doesn't have anything to do with it. I wonder how old he is today.
Well,
He died. Let me see. Do I have when he died? I don't think I actually have the date. He had 2 wives, though.
he died 1980. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah, 1980. I
At
see
age
that.
40.
No, 40 then, but what is that
Yeah,
now?
not now. No. To now, he'd probably be. He was born in 1940, so he would be.
Just say 84.
84. Yeah.
He'd be 84. He had 2 kids. You know, you never hear about them. I've never heard anything. Do you know his kids?
I know his son. His one son.
Sean and Julian.
Sounds just like him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I know that. I
Yeah.
know that he had 2 wives, and the second one got a kind of a rap for causing a little grief with the Beatles. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's my birthdays.
Okay, I got one for you,
No.
and you probably won't know this one, but
Well, thank you so much for your honesty.
I brought I brought it up just simply because of what's happening right now in the country, and I'm just going to tell you his name. It's Scotty McCreery, and I don't know if you recognize that voice that person or not.
I remember. I recognize the name, but I can't tell you anything about it.
Okay, well he was one of the winners of
America.
no,
Voice.
no, the other one that Simon. Anyway,
America's Got Talent.
it wasn't America's Got Talent, but it was. Well, anyway, he was he won the show, and he's a country western singer, and he was born on this day in 1993, so he's not very old. But the reason I brought him up, and I thought it'd be a good thing to talk about him, is the fact that he is from North Carolina. He was born in Garner, North Carolina, right in the heart of what's happening right now down there, and the devastation and all that. And he's very active in trying to get, because a lot of his friends and family and friends and all that were touched very badly by this hurricane. So he's doing all he can to help raise funds to help support them and get things going again down there in North Carolina, where he's from. And actually, they live right close to there also. But I just thought I'd bring that up just because of what's going on. And if there's anything anybody can do to help support that, Red Cross or whatever, I would encourage people to do that.
Right. Well, Asheville, you know, you and I
And Asheville,
traveled down there. We went to the Biltmore.
It's devastated.
And I was interested in finding out how the actual mansion held up. The mansion didn't have damage, but the Biltmore community around the
it,
Biltmore
yeah.
had a lot of damage.
Yep.
And so they've closed the Biltmore estate right now
they
until
can
at least October 15th and maybe longer
Get
to
things
get things
cleaned
cleaned
up.
up and
Yeah.
ready to go. It's a sad thing when that happens. This is like a once in how many generation type.
Oh, yeah,
And you know,
yeah.
I was listening to the weather, and guess what's happening?
Another
Florida's
hurricane.
got one coming again.
Yep, big
and they
time.
haven't cleaned up from the last
And
one
they said
yet,
it could be really bad. It could be a Category 4 hurricane.
Yep.
When it hits Florida. So that's, or more. Yeah, or a 5. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get by all that and be able to move forward. Well, you know what I think we ought to be doing right now, don't you?
Praying.
Well, that's true. I thought you were talking about me driving the car down to Troy.
Well, we need to pray about that too.
So we're going to go, we're going to break now, and we're going to go down to Troy, and we're going to do a little bit of cooking. So hold
Yeah, 'cause
on.
I'm
and
hungry.
Stay with us. We're going to be right back.
All right.
Well, we made it to Troy.
Yes, we did.
And look how beautiful it is out
the
here.
day's
I
gorgeous.
cannot believe this weather.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what Joyce is cooking.
I know. I'm hungry.
We're meeting Joyce Jenkins at her home here. So hopefully she's home and hopefully she's going to cook for us. We'll see what happens. Here she is. Well, hi.
Hello.
Hey,
John.
Joyce, what's cooking?
Hey, come on in and find out.
Okay.
All right.
Come on. Well, here we are in the kitchen.
Yeah. And what are we making?
Well, we're going to do a version of an apple pie.
Oh.
Oh,
And it's
Fall,
probably,
perfect.
as I looked at the recipe, I thought, it might be easier to do a real apple pie. But I got this recipe from a lady I worked with at Edison years ago. And we make it for Thanksgiving oftentimes, or when the family's together, because it makes a pretty good size dessert. And I'm going to do a few tips here. It's called apple slice pie dessert. And Don, if you want to read the recipe for,
oh boy.
and tell me what I start with. I'm going to start with some shortening.
Well,
And
Catherine
it-
is the one who made the recipe originally, because it says so right
It
there.
does.
And it's 12 servings.
Right.
And you got to have 3/4 cup of shortening.
And to do so, I put some cold water, a 1/4 cup of cold water in a cup.
Really?
And yes, and
I've
that
never
way,
done that.
I just thought maybe somebody would need to know how to do this. As you press your shortening in, see it's 3/4, and when that water level comes up to 1 cup, you've got your 3/4 of a cup of
really?
shortening. Well, I'm glad I was able to tell somebody.
How much water do you start with?
So it took a 3/4 of a cup of shortening, and so I put a 1/4 cup of cold water
In it to start.
in it to start, and when then the water level gets up to a cup, you've got your 3/4 of a cup,
Well,
and then you just.
Learn something new every day.
Well, I'm glad I've been able to show.
Now she's
so
draining
then I
it.
drain off that water.
Okay.
and look how it comes out so easy.
It does. Throw it in a pan, and oh boy, I want to tell you something. I've used this Tupperware bowl since the 1960s when I was first married.
You still have the lid?
I do.
That's usually the first thing that gets lost.
No, I've got a lid and everything. Okay, Don, tell me the next
Well, it needs
ingredient.
a teaspoonful of salt.
Yep. I've got it right here,
Oh,
ready to
boy.
go. Let me put it in the flour.
And then you got 2 cups of flour. You already got your 2 cups of flour
I got
all
my
set.
cup. Yeah, I got.
So that's good.
Yeah, I got some. All right, so I throw it over that shortening, and I'm going to put the lid on this.
And we need to find a 1/2 cup of milk.
Yeah,
Do I
would
need
you
to
open
get that out
the
of the fridge?
refrigerator door
Oh,
and
yeah.
I use this same cup that I used the
Oh, yeah.
shortening.
The less number of
See?
cups to wash.
Yep.
I'm about that all over the place. Okay, so you want
But first of
1/2
all-
cup.
First of all, let me.
Should I touch it or should I let you pour it?
Oh, you go ahead and pour it.
Okay, I was a little scared.
A
I don't want to get in
a
trouble.
cup. A 1/2 cup.
I gotta find the 1/2 cup mark.
I know when you get old, it's hard to see.
Well, see, it goes 1/3, 2/3. There.
So you have to turn it to the half, the fourth,
Yep,
and the
I found
3/4.
it.
Okay.
I found it.
I will wash my hands before I get this made into a ball of dough.
Oh, that's going to become the dough, huh?
Yeah, this will be the dough. So there's salt, flour, shortening.
Look at that. We
And
got the
milk.
1/2 cup right here. You go. It's ready for you at your convenience. Oh, you clean as you go.
Yes, I do.
I always leave a mess.
Oh, that's what men do, but women.
I don't. I clean as I go also.
I know, but the chef told me that you spend all your time cleaning, you're going to mess up your recipe.
Oh, honestly, who did you listen to?
I listened to the chef because I didn't have to clean.
I'll tell you who did the work though. When you were the caterer, you had a wife that worked as hard as anybody I've ever known.
Yep, I did. She really was a hard worker.
She
And you
was.
know, the one thing about her, when we had the restaurant, she absolutely refused to make anybody else clean the bathrooms.
Is
She
that
felt
right?
like that was not something she should hire other people to do. She did it herself.
Oh
Really?
my, wow.
Yep, she always did. She,
What a woman.
I know. And 80% of the time she was doing dishes, and I would have to stop her from the dishes. This one's, I know, I got in trouble again.
In trouble.
Oh boy, that happened. Oh, let's put it on.
Okay, I am going to wash my hands before I pick this ball of dough up and play with it. Now I have a lipped cookie sheet ready.
Yep, right there.
To have-
Now that size, is there a size? We have
Well,
to worry about a size?
that's a 10 by 14. You can do a little larger if you wish, but I find it so hard to get this ball of dough around a bigger pan. Yeah.
Wants to break apart and all that.
Yeah. I generally used to use a bigger one, but I thought for this program, I'm going to get a smaller one. So make a little bit of a dough.
And look how nice this looks. I hope you just bought this, because this is
I
way too.
did.
This is way too nice.
I was going to say, none of ours look like that.
Well, I didn't want you to see anything that I've used for 60 years.
Oh, they look just like the ones we have in our houses, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Dollar Tree can do a good job for
$1.
$1
It's 25
and a,
now.
$1 and a quarter. So okay, we've got this dough here, and now we have to get it out into the corners and the edges, and that's why I say sometimes making a pie would be almost easier. You can just buy some dough.
Is
and
that
throw-
actually pie dough?
Well, no, because it has milk in it. I don't think. Now
Now I'm going to touch that. Are you ready?
The kind of
'Cause
pie
I want
dough
to taste it.
that I like is called Never Fail, and it has vinegar and an egg. Do you ever use that for your pies?
No, I can't get my pie dough ever from a counter into a pan.
Oh, really?
So I buy Marie Calendar, let them thaw out, and then pretend like I made it and recrimp it and put it in my dish.
Absolutely. Marie Callender's made herself famous with her pie. So anyway, you move this into all the edges.
Just like making a pizza.
Oh, would you start opening the apple pie filling cans, please? Or at least get them ready for me to?
Bill, step up. You get to open the can. We're
Now-
going to share this job.
Now that's an opener that just takes the lid.
You got to figure that out, Bill. I didn't know how to do it. That's why I turned it over to you.
Thanks.
And if you guys need any help,
We may need a lot of
I
help.
know how to do it. Okay,
It's
we're
different,
getting,
isn't it?
they're going to make me do it. I know it. It's okay. See, this could have gone to a bigger pan. It could have.
Or I could have eaten more dough. I like
Well,
dough.
you want.
I'm putting the milk away, too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to wipe my hands off and help Bill open that can.
I'm really glad I passed that off.
You did a great job, Bill.
Thank you.
Do you have to have both of them? Because that means he has to do it again.
Oh, yes, he has to do it again. So
I'm not sure he can.
now
Twice.
you can use real apples. I mean, these are real apples, but you can use fresh apples. But I thought for this particular program, I'd just say, hey, let's do a quick canned apples and spread them out. Because I didn't want to have to peel and slice 4 pounds of apples.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Yep.
All right.
Why don't you just spread that on there?
Do with that.
There's a trash can right behind somebody over there.
Oh, I
Here.
see it. Okay, right behind me. Yep.
All right, got the second one on. Don, you want to do this while I start making the...
Well, sure. I'm excited.
Oh, wait a minute. No, let me finish this.
I guess I couldn't have done it good enough.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Oh,
Well, I know Joyce, and if there's anybody who's a perfectionist, she's standing right there. Joyce is really an amazing woman when it comes to getting things done the right way. She was she was secretary to the Friends of the Library, and her notes were amazing.
had a lot of training by being secretary to the president of Edison Community College for 13 years.
I know, but you had to start with some knowledge, or they wouldn't have put you in that position to begin with.
Do you know where I got that training?
Why
Well,
don't you?
Findlay High School, but Marathon Oil Company headquarters.
Oh,
They had a stenography program where I worked. Let's see, what goes next?
okay. Place 2 to 3. Oh, got the
Here it
cans
is.
in there.
Here it is.
Sprinkle
I've al-
a half cup sugar, and 2 tablespoons of flour and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon.
Which I've already done in this little.
Just like on Real TV, you got it already ready to
Just
go.
like Ina Garten. Anyway, so Marathon Oil Company hired me in and as a stenographer, and they then trained me to be a secretary to the executives eventually. But Tom Jenkins came along and wanted to marry me, and there I was. I had to go where he went, and he came down to Miami East for his first teaching assignment and coaching assignment.
You know, Bill
And
went to
today would
Miami
have
East.
been-
Wonder if he would.
Your mother was my nurse. Oh my word, I just got the connection.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tom.
when John was born.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Oh, this is just, oh golly. Oh,
He coached,
yes,
Football.
with football.
and he was my first coach.
Oh,
in
Bill,
junior high.
this is incredible.
I loved him. He was great.
Oh my goodness,
He was tough, but that was what you needed.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I'm going to.
We got to get back to the recipe, people.
Yes, I'm softening. I'm softening the butter a little bit so that when we add the flour and sugar, which
1/4
will-
pound of butter, half cup of sugar,
Yeah.
and
Bill,
a
your
cup of
mother
flour.
was my nurse when
Yeah.
John was born.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Oh, bless her heart. She was. Okay, so we're going to throw in,
Sugar.
if
Maybe.
it leaves the cup, there we go,
There you go.
and some flour, and then we're going to just make a crumble out of that. I
You
think
got all the tools too. Look at that.
I might have gotten
might
too
have
much
to
of
get
butter
one
in
of
this.
those.
Those are nice.
I
We
don't
had
have one of those.
We
You
had
don't have
at
one of
home.
these?
Oh, they're wonderful.
I do it with a fork.
Actually, I just got it about a year ago.
I do it with a fork.
I do.
usually.
I always did it with a fork too, but I said, hey, you know what? There's a different way to do it. And I find I don't go to my cookbooks like I used to. I go to
Internet.
Google.
Google? Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
I do too, all
All
the
those
time.
recipes to
Yep.
choose from. Okay, here we go. We got a crumble made out of here. All right.
So the question is, when you go to Google, do you print the recipe off?
I do sometimes. I've got a book of it.
I always print them off.
All right, so now we're going to, is this what I do next?
Uh-huh. It says right here.
Remind me.
Put it on top of the apples
Yeah, put it on top of the apples. Just
and
like
bake
that.
at 400 for 35 minutes.
You know what? Have I got my oven started? Yeah, let's say we have.
No, we can start it.
Start the oven.
Well, yeah, there you go, Bill. Set it up. I
Set it
see
up
the
for
start button.
400. 400. 400, and then you have to hit the start button, Bill.
got it.
Okay.
That'll be good.
Now, if this were a little bit bigger pan, it wouldn't be quite as messy here.
I worry about running over.
You know what I do? I put it on a cookie sheet so that if it does,
You still don't have too bad a mess.
I don't have too bad a mess.
Are we allowed to see the cookie sheet?
Of course.
Is that an older one?
That's
Does
an
it look-
old one. That's an old one.
That looks really good. And I like the fact it was easy.
I think it's simply, it is pretty easy. And then for young girls who are intimidated by pie making for some reason, I don't know why they should be, but I
Takes
don't
practice,
I
that's
don't
the thing.
hear that too many of them make a pie anymore. So I'm thinking, well,
Nope, you go to the family reunion and they bought them.
this is a great fall dessert, Thanksgiving time, and you got a lot of people, and there's pumpkin pie, and some people don't like pumpkin pie, so
Oh, I like pumpkin pie too.
So then, anyway,
I don't know if I've ever met a pie I don't like.
I like pie better than I like cake.
Oh, amen.
And his daughter makes really good pies too. She
Really?
really does. Our last program we did a strawberry rhubarb cream pie with a crumb top.
Oh, it was so good.
My daughter-in-law makes a wonderful apple cream pie.
You know, we
All
did
right.
get to taste it when we did it with
All
her,
right,
you
let's see where my cookie sheet is here. Not too bad.
know. No, looks good.
All right, there we go. The secret is not putting in too much before you have to add more sugar, and I just may have done that. I don't know. It's a trick.
You know what I found? A new ingredient?
What is
I
that?
found powdered vanilla.
Ooh.
That's white. And so if you want to flavor it and you don't want to color it, because vanilla, you know, usually turns it dark unless
Yes.
you get white vanilla,
Right.
which is
And
not
vanilla's
really vanilla.
expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, but so is this powdered vanilla, but it works really well to add a
I'll have
little
to
bit
look
of
for it.
flavor.
You know what I'm going to try too? I've often heard that if you put this in a Ziploc bag and
Squeeze
cut
it.
a little hole in the corner,
Oh yeah.
it works real well. Yeah, well, we'll just see if that works for us. Checkered.
You have got
What
the
the-
whole works going on.
Amy gave
Although
these
they're a
to
little
me.
purple.
Well, they're getting purple, but they were black originally. Okay, here we go. We're going to take this corner. Oh, let's do this corner. All right. And we're going to take that and we're going to just drizzle this along like this.
Nice.
Yep, if I did, it'd be blotched
There
all
we
over.
go. A little bit more over here. Well, there's your apple pie slice dessert.
Oh, there's only one thing left to do, you know.
Oh, we have to try it, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, where's my big knife?
Even AJ's shaking his head, yes.
Let me get out. All right.
Oh, that's all right.
None of this is diet.
Just take a pill.
None of this is sucrose or so. All right. Let me get a little. Take it over here. Now, I would offer you a cup of coffee because I think you ought to have a cup of coffee with this, but you didn't want one.
No, I think we're good.
All right. There's one.
Bill's had enough caffeine in a lifetime.
There's two. There's three.
And Don doesn't need any caffeine. 'Cause
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so
You're
much.
quite welcome, Bill.
Thank you.
You're welcome. AJ?
I'll take a piece.
Oh, you
I'll
better.
eat a piece,
I
yeah.
knew you would.
Now-
I knew you would,
Yeah.
AJ.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, you two.
Well, you're not having any.
Oh,
You need to have some.
all right. But I want a cup of coffee too.
You know what makes this really good?
What?
The topping. You know, all
Which one, the crumble
well,
or
all
the-
of it. The fact you put cinnamon and sugar, and then I really like the crumbs too.
Yep.
And
The
just
crumble.
oops, something's going on.
Maybe we should call it apple slice crumble pie.
Maybe.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
They're
Glad I
good.
took a piece.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
I'm so honored that you came to watch me cook.
Well, we're all having a really nice treat this afternoon.
Yes, we are.
And now, unfortunately, we have to go back to the studio and finish the program. But
So-
Joyce, thank you so much. Bill?
Appreciate it, and this is so good.
Oh, thank
I
you.
really enjoy it. And yeah, so I guess now we're gonna head back and we'll see you there.
I might have to go home and make this. Well, wasn't that enjoyable?
Yes,
You know,
it was.
Joyce is such a nice person, and
Yeah.
I was so happy that she said that she would do that. She's got the most beautiful little condominium, and it's just a really nice thing to do that. And she used to be like the chairman of one of our committees, and we would always
yeah.
meet at her house because we'd plan to meet early.
Yeah.
And I don't normally do that, but we'd meet 9 o'clock so that because we found out she made breakfast if we met at 9 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Oh, she was good. So anyway, I'm really glad we were able to go down there and talk to that. And remember, if you'd like the recipe, we can get that to you by sending it out to Indian Trail, pick a high school, and put attention AJ, and we'll get a recipe off to you in the mail. Or you can email us, and we will email the recipe back to you. So that's one thing we need to remember.
And also, you can also contact us also if you have anything that you would like us to have on our program. Your help is always welcome. And so, and with that, I guess we're going to go back to the studio.
Well, we're back already.
Well, we are back already.
Where are you, buddy?
I don't know.
You're still in the car.
I just came in, brain-wise.
Okay, so anyway, we have some trivia. And, this is an interesting trivia that I wanted to try to talk about because there's two things. I have two pieces of trivia, and actually my wife found one, and we should give credit to the Reader's Digest because that's where she found it. But I thought it was really, really, really interesting because I'm going to list 4 presidents, and they all have one thing in common. And we're going to see what that one thing they have in common. It starts with Franklin Roosevelt, goes from Franklin Roosevelt to Dwight D. Eisenhower, Ronald Reagan, and George W. Bush. All 4 of those presidents have one thing in common, besides the obvious that they were presidents. What do you think it is? One thing. And if you get it, I'm going to dance around the desk. Don't look at the paper. I'll be dancing. So,
One thing in common.
yep, one thing in common. I can't imagine it, but Reader's Digest said so we know it's right.
Well, not necessarily, but yeah. I don't know. I have no clue. It's obviously going to be something way out there. So.
Well, yeah, and my wife did the same thing to me. She goes, "What do you think?" She was giving me the old test, and I was like, "I have no idea." They were all 4 cheerleaders. Either high school or college cheerleaders.
Okay.
Can you imagine a president being a cheerleader?
Well,
I mean, you go backwards, but it was interesting to find out that all 4, Franklin Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, Ronald Reagan, and George W. Bush, were all cheerleaders either in high school or college, one of the two.
isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Dwight
I
Eisenhower.
thought that was interesting. Now, this next piece, Dwight Eisenhower, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
That's the first president I really remember.
Yeah.
Actually, in my youth time, that was the first one that I actually
Yes.
could remember hearing him speak on TV as a
Right.
president. Well, the other one, I was at a church the other day, and Dr. Gebhardt was talking, and he brought this up in his sermon, which is just an interesting fact. Henry Ford, you know Henry?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Henry Ford was an icon in the United States and was one of the wealthiest people in the country
Yep.
during his years when he was around us. And his ancestry is from Ireland, Cork, Ireland, as a matter of fact. And I've been fortunate enough to be there. There's really nice people in Cork, Ireland. I would like to go back someday. But he was back in 1912. He went back to Cork Island to visit the homeland of his family.
Okay.
And so he took his little entourage, when you're that wealthy, you have
Yes.
an
Yeah.
entourage.
You have an entourage.
Yeah, so he took all his little peeps and they went to Ireland. And once they got there, they all decided they wanted to kiss the Blarney Stone. Now, my wife wanted to kiss the Blarney Stone too, but there was a difference.
little overrated, I think.
Well, you have to kiss up. That's where the word kiss up comes from. 'Cause
I know.
The stone's over above you. But anyway, she wanted to do it only because there was just to be totally honest, a blonde stud holding your feet so you didn't fall. And she was all excited to have the blonde stud hold her legs.
Oh,
so she
geez.
kissed up, and I said, I'm not doing that. So I didn't do it. She did, though. So she's got all this extra good luck. But anyway, all of Henry's entourage went there to do that. But Henry stayed back. He wasn't interested in kissing the stone.
Good for him.
So he's walking down the street singing "Do What Did He" or whatever they did, and
Do What Did He? I don't
he
think that
gets
was
to the North Cathedral, which is a Catholic cathedral in Ireland, and he goes into the rectory, and he asks to see the priest, which happened to be Father O'Connor. And so Father O'Connor comes out and he said, what's your name? And he goes, I'm Henry Ford. And he goes, okay, what do you need from me, sir? And he had no idea who Henry Ford was, you know.
Right.
And so he said, well, I'm trying to find my family. And he said, and so the priest says, well, where are you from in the U.S.? And he goes, Detroit. And the lights came on. Father O'Connor knew that he had the Henry Ford. And the wealthiest man in the world at the time, or at least close to it. And so he says, well, let me try to help you. And he used that accent, which I can't do, but that's okay. And so Father goes out and he finds the baptismal record of Henry's grandfather. He was born on St. Patrick's Day in 1894 at Fairlane, a town near there. Now, Fairlane, you know that. Carr and his house in Detroit is called Fairlane.
Yep.
So the name kept going through. But anyway, the father found that information. And so a day or so later, he goes to the hotel to meet with, just to greet Henry Ford officially and welcome him to the community. And towards the end of the conversation, he knows you know, Mr. Ford, we're building a hospital, and if you could make a donation in remembrance of your parents, that would be a nice thing. So Henry Ford gets his checkbook out, and he writes a check for what was the equivalent of 5,000 pounds. Now, 5,000 pounds today is $500,000.
Yeah.
So he just sat down and wrote it out. Next day, he's reading the paper as he's having breakfast, and right across the headline it says, Henry Ford donates 50,000 pounds to build the hospital. And Henry goes, I didn't do that. I only gave 5. The priest comes and goes, I am so sorry. The newspaper put an extra 0 in. So we will have a retraction that says Henry Ford didn't give 50,000. He only gave 5,000. Well, Henry was
I know where this is going.
Henry was going to be all embarrassed by the whole thing. And so he took that check back and he wrote one for $50,000 or pounds, which was several million dollars.
Yeah.
And the only thing he asked in return was, he wanted an inscription above the front entrance, and you know what it was going to say?
Yeah.
I came among you and you took me in.
You took me in.
So there's more than one meaning to that comment. I came among you and you took me in. Well, there's only one other thing I want to say about Henry, because Henry and I have crossed paths in a couple of ways, and that could be a story unto itself, but I want to tell you that my favorite quote of his is, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right.
You're right.
You're right in either case.
That's
if you
right.
think you can do it, you can do it. If you think you can't do it, you won't be able to do it.
That's
So
right.
it's a term that I used a lot with my students, and I have always remembered it and used it myself when I get myself into a situation.
It's a good quote. Yep.
So anyway, that's the Henry Ford. We got any more events?
Yes, I do. This first one is near and dear to your heart. It's the Piqua Caldwell Historic District, and they're going to be having their Halloween Haunted Walking Tour October 18th and 19th. And Don's has more information.
It's a really good tour. First place, we've got people who are paranormal specialists
Yes.
who have done some research and have found actual paranormal activity in the houses. And there's one house that you're going to walk through, the rest you're going to walk past, but you're going to hear the stories of what goes on inside those homes. And the one that you walk through, there will actually be video that you can see of that was recently done, that you can see the paranormal activity that goes on inside that property. It's a really interesting thing for those who are interested in paranormal activity. The tours are 1 hour, and they start at 7 o'clock on those dates. And there's a tour every half hour until the last tour goes out at 9, 2 days in a row. And you can sign up, buy tickets. You have to do that online because we have to keep track of how many people are in each tour. So if you will go to the Piqua Caldwell Historic District website and find where the tours are, click on that. You can see how many tickets are left and which tours, and you can sign up. And you can pay right there online.
And they're not out to scare you.
Oh no, this is not.
This is just talking about the hauntings at the houses and that.
Yeah.
It's not nobody's going to be jumping out at you or anything
There's
else.
no dress up stuff.
No,
and none of
no,
that.
no, no.
It's true stories, and that really makes it interesting.
Yes, it really does.
We have a lot of different little things that go on within the district that the average person doesn't know, and so that's what we're going to do with that.
And
tour.
for more information, you go to Piqua Caldwell Historic District.org and get information. Again, that'll be on. We'll post that at the end of the show. And then on October 19th and 20th, we have at Johnson Farm, an Indian agency. It's a historic fall trade fair at the Fort Piqua, which is the Johnson Farm. And it's the participants in autumn festivities and interact with trade people and characters from the mid-18th to 19th centuries. Food and craft vendors will be on hand. Bring some coin. You may find that perfect Christmas gift. So, and the cost is just the site admission. There again, that's at Johnson Farm. And that'll be in the 19th and 20th. So that ought to be fun. Then Tip City is having a Harvest Fest street party. And that's October 19th at 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And there again, it's food, music, drinks, headlining bands. It's contests. There's a costume contest, great music and beer tent featuring craft and domestic drinks for those 21 and up, of course. But it should be, again, a lot of fun to come on down to Tip City and on the 19th and have a good time. And then also on, I believe it's, let's see, the 19th also is the Haunted Woods at Bruckner Nature Center. That should be a good fun. Come enjoy a kid-friendly evening filled with guided walks, live animals, and costume characters. Your guide will lead you along the gently rolling luminary lit trail and stop at 6 stations along the way so you and your family can learn all about the wild creatures of the night. Bring your flashlights, it's important. All tickets must be purchased prior to the event, and you can call 937-698-6493 or emailing info@brucknernaturecenter.com. And again, we'll have that at the end of the show. So tickets are just $5 per person. And so it will be for members and $7 per person for non-members. And children ages 2 and under are free. So that should be a good time. It's a family-friendly event. And then Fulton Farms is having a Bluegrass Halloween Bash. And that's October 19th also. It's a busy weekend. And it's an entertaining evening on the farm on the 19th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Famous Fulton Farms food and barbecue, bluegrass music, beer garden, 4-acre lighted corn maze with surprises, wear your favorite costume, heated greenhouse, and all that bonfire, $15 per person. and that includes the corn maze. So that'll be a lot of fun too. So head to Fulton Farms. And then my last one is Trick or Treat. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my last one. Trick or Treat at the Piqua Center. That's October 22nd at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's a trick or treat event. Excited once again to host it. Come and set up a table to pass out candy to all the ghouls, goblins, and ghosts. October 22nd, 6 p.m. to 8. There are awards will be given for best decorated table, scariest, cutest, and most creative. And costume judging is at 5 p.m. So wear your costumes, and table decorating set up by 5 p.m. So that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's a free event. So come on down and have a good time. And that's all the events I got right now.
Okay, well, the next program is going to be really exciting because it's our Halloween program. And it's going to be on October the 23rd, and we're going to do some really weird stuff. And have some really good things about Halloween that we're going to do for that program. So don't forget to tune in on that program as well.
Yep.
But until next time, I'm Don Smith.
And I'm Bill Cartwright.
And what's happening in Miami County?